So virtue either has to do with pleasure or pain, or it has to do with faculties. By faculties, I mean the things in virtue of which we are said to be capable of feeling these. Example given of becoming angry, or of being pained, or feeling pity. By states of character, I mean the things in virtue of which we stand well or badly with reference to the passions. So with reference to emotions and stuff, what does your character do with reference to your emotions? That's what he means by character. The example given with reference to anger, we stand badly if we feel it violently or too weakly. So your anger can't come out violent, and it cannot come out meek and mild. It's got to take the middle course, right? The golden mean. And well if we feel it moderately, and similarly with reference to the other passions. You don't want to be too strong in it. You don't want to have none of it, right? Like the desire to murder people. No, I don't know. You want to have some of it, but not. You don't want to have the desire to murder too many people. You know, I don't know. Maybe even that's legitimate. I guess if I were in Hitler's Germany, I'd probably have the desire to murder the Fuhrer, and I'd probably have a desire to murder Ahmadinejad if I were in Iran. Some people are really, really upset about Obama. I don't have a desire to murder him. I think that he may be such a bumbling idiot that he won't be able to screw the country up the way FDR did. FDR had a lot of power in the 30s, a lot of support. I don't know if Obama has that much weight behind him. I think there's too much talk about what free markets are, and there's too much resistance to his idiocy. We'll see. I think Obama might even be like Bill Clinton, chatter about ideals, but then when he sits down with some intelligent men and he says, let's do this and that, price controls or whatever, and he hears some arguments, some rational arguments, he might actually be like Bill Clinton, who went for free trade agreements and stuff and loosened up labor controls, all kinds of things Bill Clinton did that were just completely against the standard Democratic agenda. And hopefully Obama will be a spineless slime bag like him. We'll see. I'm not so scared of Obama as some people. So the passion of murder is how we got off on that. Let's get back to Aristotle now. Now, neither the virtues nor the vices are passions. Okay, so we're about to eliminate this. So passion has got to be, or pardon me, virtue has to be either a state of character or a faculty. Neither the virtues nor the vices are passions, because we are not called good or bad on the ground of our passions, but are so called on the ground of our virtues and our vices. So he says there is some difference between passions on the one hand and virtue and vice on the other hand. They are not exactly equal. And because we are neither praised nor blamed for our passions. Is that true? Is a person who has passions sometimes praised or blamed for them? I think actually so. He says in parentheses, though, let's follow his thought. And because we are neither praised nor blamed for our passions, for the man who feels fear or anger is not praised, nor is the man who simply feels anger blamed, but the man who feels it in a certain way is praised or blamed. So anger itself is not a judgment for Aristotle. It is for multiculturalists today. You have anger against somebody's beliefs or their feelings or their culture or their views. You shouldn't. You should never have anger. Anger is bad. It leads to war, and war is bad. So why would we ever have anger? No matter whose views and no matter what they are, we should always accept them, right? Even if their views have anger, we can't be angry about it because we can't be angry. They can be angry. We can't judge them. Such is nonsense. Such is nonsense. So he says anger isn't good or bad, but it's the way you feel it. I guess they've forgotten that in multiculturalism. They just think anger itself is an intrinsically, platonically bad thing. But for our virtues and our vices, we are praised or blamed. It's not just our passions and our feelings then. Virtues and vices are different. Again, we feel anger and fear without choice. Yeah, Ayn Rand said that the feelings are like a lightning calculator of of your views. And if that's true, then changing your views can change your feelings, but that's a long-term or medium-term project. So you do feel it without choice. You don't choose. I'm going to feel anger now. Right? It just comes. That's true. But the virtues are modes of choice, or they involve choice. So that's another way that we're a step away from having virtues be just emotion. Now, this is like stepping all over the toes of John Dewey and these other people who say you should just let the child do as he pleases and flower out and spring like a blossom, and you should do that yourself. Just do as you feel. Go with a random feeling someday and just do what you want to, you know? Indulge and be yourself. Yourself is a random sewer, you know? Okay, so they are modes of choice. The virtues are modes of choice, or they involve choice. Further, in respect of the passions, we are said to be moved, but in respect of the virtues and the vices, we are said not to be moved, but to be disposed in a particular way. So you say he was moved by anger or whatever, but you don't say he was moved by his virtue. His virtue then is a choice he makes. It's not something that motivates him intrinsically. For these reasons also they are not faculties. For we are neither called good nor bad, nor praised nor blamed, for the simple capacity of feeling the passions. Again, we have the faculties by nature, but we are not made good or bad by nature. We have spoken of this before, he says, and it mentions 1103, which is just above about a page or two ago, within the last 5 minutes, probably on the video. We must, however, not only describe virtue as a state of character, but also say what sort of state it is. So we've taken out the possibility that it's a faculty, and we've taken out the possibility that it is a passion, a feeling, an emotion. It must then be a state of character. So now let's talk about it, the nature of it being a state of character. We may remark then that every virtue or excellence both brings into good condition the thing of which it is the excellence, and makes the work of that thing be done well. Example given. So hold on to your socks there. The excellence of the eyes makes both the eye and its work good. For it is by the excellence of the eye that we see well. Right? What would be an excellently, perfectly well-seeing eye with no nerves to send the light to a brain to? What good would that eye be? So the excellence of the eye is involved in the context of what the eye is doing. The eye is seeing for the organism. Similarly, the excellence of the horse makes a horse both good in itself and good at running and at carrying its rider and at awaiting the attack of the enemy. Therefore, if this is true in every case, the virtue of man also will be the state of character which makes a man good and which makes him do his own work well. Now, pause there for a second. He mentions that the horse is good in itself and it is good for all these things in battle and such. Now, I say that if you remove all those things it's good for in battle and awaiting the enemy, and it's good at running and all this, if you take all those things away, then what would it mean to say that it's good in itself? That would evaporate. It would somehow leave the horse. If it was not good at any of these things, then the goodness in itself would be gone. So I disagree with him there on that, and therefore you couldn't have a man who's good in himself and virtuous in himself in his state of character, and in addition to that, there's all these true facts about him in the world. His goodness has to derive from, be related to, and connected to his good actions in the world. Maybe we agree, maybe not. How this is to happen we have stated already, but it will be made plain also by the following consideration of the specific nature of virtue. In everything that is continuous and divisible, it is possible to take more or less, or an equal amount, and that either in terms of the thing itself, or relatively to us. And the equal is an intermediate between excess and defect. Okay, there's the golden mean silliness. That's one of the worst rationalizations that I think I've ever come across in all of my reading of Aristotle, which is limited. Hundreds of pages.